What's good, everybody? We are live with the last word here on YouTube and also social media. Monday Night Raw literally just went off the air. We always come up part of BTT Studios, one of three shows that we have done today. If you are not familiar with us, welcome. I am the coach. I kind of navigate this ship around all of our different platforms. And we have four different people that join us tonight. There will be two of them. Let's bring in my main man, the numbers guy, Rafael Esparza. And we'll have Big Tommy C joining us in a matter of moments. Rafael, we got to start with what we just saw. I was going to start with last night. I was going to start with John Cena, but I got to start with what we saw just moments ago where Seth Rollins clearly has been working with Bron Breakker, and they tear apart CM Punk, they tear apart Roman Reigns, and they leave Monday Night Raw in Vegas standing Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, and apparently Paul Heyman can kick out of every finisher that Roman Reigns has with the super punch. He was right back up. What did you make of the ending of Raw just now?
Very interesting. I really thought Becky Lynch was going to be at the end of the ring, what we saw earlier today. So I thought maybe they were going to bring out husband and wife and another opponent or another sidekick with them too, with Paul Heyman. So I thought the ending was pretty good. Bron Breakker, just now we know why he lost the belt, and I'm glad they're pushing him into that elevation of Seth Rollins. I think it's going to be good for him.
There's always a reason. Now, let's bring in the third member of our broadcast team. And that, of course, is the man who spent 32 years inside of the WWE, Big Tommy Carlucci. Tommy, Bron Breakker in an alliance with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. Your thoughts?
The wise man's always thinking, man, next man up. He's bringing this young rookie in with him who is a friggin' beast. And I could see a little thing forming here, Coach. Maybe a little authority, because who did we see turn heel tonight? The wife, Becky Lynch. I could see a little deal together with Heyman, Rollins, Bron, and Becky, maybe something called the Authority from back in the day. That's what I'm sniffing, fellas.
By the way, if you want your voice to be heard, you can do it through a super sticker, or you can become a premium member. Then there's several different ways of doing that, and we'll read yours right on the screen. Either way, Tommy, they did their best tonight with that ending. I think they really fed into the night that worked, which was night number one. And certainly not night number two. And Seth Rollins, it's almost like he's been rejuvenated. All of a sudden, he's on another level as far as the star is concerned. He's now got Paul Heyman. And anytime you add Paul to anything, it's going to elevate you. But the real winner in all of this that I never saw coming was Bron Breakker. Yes. I mean, and there's a reason you can't leave the Intercontinental title on him if you're going to put him into this type of a feud at this level. The title doesn't matter. And let's be honest, the Intercontinental title is a B title. It's not a world heavyweight title. And all four of these guys, they should be in the hunt for the world heavyweight championship, not the Intercontinental title. They are above that. And so now Bron Breakker, he says, see you to that. But it's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do with all of that. Rafael, let me come back over to you. Because after WrestleMania, there was such a negative feel. You know, coming into today, you had John Cena on the Pat McAfee show. You had Paul Heyman, who was putting everybody's trash on Front Street today. That was absolute cringe for me. I didn't like it at all. Yeah. And then I felt like when John Cena came out at the start of the show, he cut a nice promo, and he did his best. The crowd, you could feel the crowd wanted to cheer for him. They're like, okay, we want to give you your props. But he kept turning that around. I thought he did a great promo. I thought the Randy Orton stuff was awesome. But they strategically, if you notice, Rafael, he listed all of these great champions, did not mention The Rock. They didn't touch on The Rock. The Rock hasn't even shown up for anything, which tells me there's a lot more going on here. What did you make of the start of the show as well with John Cena? Rafael, I'll start with you. Then, Tommy, I'll go to you.
I mean, just the beginning, and then watching what you've been doing all day today with every show you've been doing was this, where is The Rock? Not a mention, not nothing. I didn't even see a T-shirt or anyone with a poster in the crowd with a mention of The Rock. So I was just really dived in to see what they were going on at. I like the Cena opening. I love how you knew he probably had 2 promos in his head to try. Okay, are they going to cheer for me? Did I need to cut this promo? Are they going to be negative to me? I need promo. I thought it was a genius what he did today because he had to prepare 2 promos today because he probably didn't know what the crowd was going to do when he came out. I thought his promo was superb tonight.
It was, but here's what I would have liked to have seen. If you know The Rock is not going to participate, why get him involved in the first place with the whole selling your soul, the whole thing, all of that? I would have rather had Babyface against Babyface, John Cena wins, and then he goes on this. And then, Tommy, we announced that there's going to be a new docuseries on Netflix called Unreal. They're literally Triple H on camera going, we're taking the camera, or we're taking it all the way back. We're pulling the curtain all the way back, which nobody wants to see. It'll probably be interesting, but I don't want to see it. So now you have John Cena today who was in character, and then all of a sudden he's like, all of you fans, you've been there for us every step of the way. And I'm like, are you a heel or are you not a heel? And he's feeding into this when he's on the show. That's who he is, and that it's strictly a show like a movie. And that's just not what wrestling is, not to me and not to a lot of fans.
Yeah, Coach. He is a unique character, Cena. You see him on McAfee's show today, and he's just regular old John Cena cutting a couple of promos on some people in the crowd, but he's regular John. And then he comes on the show tonight, and he's got the mean face, and I liked everything being blacked out, him taking the slow walk in. But I got to tell you, man, his talent level is unlimited. The way he can cut a promo to keep you interested in his character, and now putting him together was Orton, is a genius idea because these guys go way back. As you know, Coach, they go way back from the beginning. They have generations of people who know who they are, and they could do a nice little program with the storyline with these 2 guys facing off for the championship. I think it was a great lead on to have Orton be his first title defense because of the history of these 2 guys and how long they've been in the business. But Cena's just on another level as a talent, and he keeps you wanting more and more. At least that's the way I felt about it watching his promo tonight.
I saw somebody on TikTok already put together a Cena, Randy Orton video going all the way back 12 years, 13 years, and it was pretty awesome. And the whole theme was, we're not a rivalry, we're the rivalry. Very cool with the play on words. A-Bass, a premium member, says tag match at Backlash. Let me know who you're talking about there, A-Bass, and we can talk about that. I still think, as much as they wanted to do tonight, guys, it does not override the fact that long-term, to me, there are big-time issues backstage with the WWE. Yes. There is something going on. Oh, Roman and Punk. A-Bass, it makes sense. Roman and Punk against – that makes all the sense in the world.
Rollins and Bron.
Yeah, it makes all the sense. But to me, when you've got so much – money on the line. And guys, I know they said there was 124,000 people in attendance, but let's be honest, they papered that a little bit because 2 days before it was 48,000, 51,000, which was 99,000. But do we think that The Rock bailed on them? That The Rock just decided, I want nothing to do with it? Because guys, think about this for a second. The Rock's on the board of directors. He got a $30 million payday less than a year ago to be a bigger part of this. And for him to not even tweet, to not even post on the company that he's on the board of directors for, when he stood there on January 6th, he said, thank you, Netflix. Thank you for having the final boss. And 4 months later, he's a no-show. And not only a no-show, but he could care less. He's posted 3 times in the last 3 days. Do you know what the topic was? Anyone?
Rubik's Cube was one of them.
Yeah, right.
It was his Project Rock shoes from Under Armour.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he tweeted about. On the week of WrestleMania. Not the Hall of Fame, not, hey, congratulations, Trips. Not SmackDown, not NXT, not the Undertaker one-man show, not Night 1, not Night 2, not Monday Night Raw. Nothing from the Great One. So when he comes back, I've seen a lot of people that I respect, and they're like, listen, if this is how The Rock wants to be, get the hell out. We don't need you. Because this led to a lot of negativity, Tommy, that we didn't need to have. If you're going to go with Cena and Orton, then you could have done a completely different thing last night without Travis Scott, because they were like, he's a $140 soaking wet. That was the most ridiculous finish I've ever seen in my life. Certainly at a WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, Coach. And here's the thing. Either you're in a storyline or you're not. Either you're all the way in or you're all the way out. Don't give me this half-seat stuff where you don't say anything and then you come back 3 weeks later. Either Rock is all in and I'm listening to The Rock and the final boss and everybody, or you're all out. And then I don't want to hear his name at all. Let's continue on with Rollins, Heyman, Punk, Roman, Bron, whatever the storyline is elevating from there. I don't want to hear the final boss's name ever again unless he's really coming back 6 months, 4 months, whatever. I'm tired of it. Either you're all in, Rock, or you're all out.
I saw somebody today on Coach and Bro. They said, Coach, you and Vince don't know what to talk about. He had to shoot a movie. That's why he wasn't there. It's not his fault. Oh, really? So apparently he did not have one of these wherever he's shooting the movie.
Right.
He didn't have a phone.
Yeah.
He had a phone to look at a Rubik's Cube.
He had it last year.
Of course he did. And they were 10, 12 minutes on social media. It's calculated. Everything The Rock does is calculated. And yes, Abas says he could have at least said something to John Cena via video. Yeah, but I think the crowd would have shit all over that too.
Yep.
I've never been more dumbfounded. And if Triple H gets in front of a camera and gives me any more bullshit than what I've had to digest this week, an hour and 47 minutes at the Hall of Fame for his speech. What do you think Kevin Dunn would have said, Tommy? if he would have started playing the music, he'd been, shut off my music. An hour and 47 minutes. And then to disrespect Bret Hart and Stone Cold by just sending them out there with Michelle McCool. And all what are we doing?
Just ridiculous, Coach. You're right. They would have cut him off big time. And his ego's so large. And I watched your show today. It was a great show.
Great
you
show.
guys hit on
Great
points
show.
that nobody hits on because you know why? You've been there. And enough said about that stuff there. But Vince Russo brought up a great thing. The difference between him and the chairman. You see the chairman once, the opening of WrestleMania, and that's it. How many times did we see Triple H this weekend?
Well,
how many, guys?
A lot.
Big
a lot.
Difference.
And don't you love it when he goes, "Oh, guys, I don't want to. I don't want to do the. I don't want to do the Hall of Fame." Yeah. He's like, I don't want to do the Hall of Fame. And then you talk for an hour and 47 minutes. Remember when he got guys? It's my third time. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Coach, I have something. I want to.
Yeah, go ahead, Raphael. Sorry,
I was rewatching stuff because I was grading prop bets because I couldn't grade them last night live. No, lately since the TKO buyout, we've seen UFC fighters at events. The only person we saw this weekend was Dana White, and they booed him. We didn't see any UFC fighters. We didn't see no one. No champion.
We did.
I was trying to figure out.
Kobe Covington was there. Israel Adesanya was there. Yeah, Israel was there.
But I'm not. They're not active. They're not active champions. I'm saying with belts. I'm trying to maybe go deeper into maybe TKOs is kind of upset or stuff like that. I don't know. I was just shocked that we didn't see no really champions of UFC besides Dana White being there.
Here's what I think is going on, guys. Here's what I think is going on. Because Dana White did not stay. Did you guys see the video of him walking out?
Yeah.
Right? He was like, man, they're from floor to ceiling. It's crazy in there. He walked in to get his photo op, and then he didn't even stay for the show.
Right. Yeah.
But Jelly Roll was there both nights. George Kittle was there both nights.
Yep.
Here's what I think is going on. Because there's a lot of negotiations right now. As you know, Raphael, there's open negotiations for the UFC and ESPN. Right. Obviously, I'm a part of the PFL, which is, I won't even call us a rivalry yet. We're also on ESPN. But I think that it's not going well. Netflix does not want UFC because the pay-per-view model is dead. And I think WWE's ratings are dropping so fast on Netflix that there's a lot of dissension in the ranks. I also believe this, that Rock and Triple H hate each other so much that Rock decided to sacrifice, and this may sound crazy, guys, to sacrifice a WrestleMania to prove his point that Triple H cannot book, that Triple H should not be the head of creative, and that Triple H should be gone. And I think that Vince Russo's been saying this for months, hasn't he? That
yes.
Triple H's time is limited. And if this didn't tell you that The Rock didn't want to help at all, I don't know what else does. I don't know what else does.
Let's face it, Coach. Look what we're talking about. We've been talking about this ever since what happened last night. You talked about it. The internet is flying off. Social media is going nuts. Where was Rock? Where was Rock? Where was Rock? And it's working. It works for Rock all the time. The guy gets what he wants all the time when he wants it. And believe me, they don't want heat between Rock and Khan and Shapiro because, quite frankly, he really doesn't need them.
But see, Tommy, that's where I disagree with you. I severely disagree with that. Wow. I do. Look at the movies that he's made the last 5 years. True. Has he had any major hits?
True.
The answer is no to that. And Disney's now he just signs on. What's that?
Disney's upset with him, and Black Adam was a complete failure.
Black Adam was a complete failure, but then they just signed a deal with his production company that's going to be under Disney. He did that to protect himself because Black Adam was a $300 million fail, and big fail. And so if you're The Rock in all your movies that you've made, and it hurts me to say because you guys know how much I love my guy, but all of his major hits have been franchises. Fast and Furious, Hobbs and all of that. Then you got Moana, but it hasn't been a hit. And so now for him to disappear, and everybody's like, oh, he's doing the Martin Scorsese, Leonardo DiCaprio film. Well, I texted. You guys know I have a hookup with Martin Scorsese.
Yep.
I've heard nothing back. Crickets. I've texted 2 or 3 times. Hey, can you give me an update on The Rock? Nothing, which tells me there's something going on there because they don't want anything in writing. They don't want, and I get that. But to me, going forward, guys, and this is exactly what's happening, Tommy, is you might say it works for him, but I've never seen, and you tell me if I'm wrong, you were a part of over 30 WrestleManias, okay? Yes. Have you ever seen an ending that was universally shit on like what we saw last night? I didn't see one person on social media that liked it. That's why I think he's gone too far this time to just come and go as he pleases, start a storyline that was the main event of night number 2, and then just to leave it sitting on the table. I think the fans are done with him. I really do. What do you guys say? You're
absolutely right. And then they bring in Travis Scott, who's 140 pounds, and who's going to believe that Travis Scott really stays nose to nose with Cody Rhodes? In the real world, Cody Rhodes should have threw him over the top rope, slapped him in the head. He didn't do any of that. And again, another cheap nut shot to end a match. It's just unbelievable. Rock not being there. It's just bananas.
It's hard to get past it. Yes, Raphael, what do you think in your gut? Tell me what you think the reason is that Rock. This is more than a no-show. This is a no-show across the board. From Elimination Chamber, we haven't seen anything from him. What do you think the real reason is?
A year ago, I would be thinking like the fans. He's filming a movie. He didn't have time. But it's listening to you, Vince, and Tommy. There's something happening. And I think, I don't know if it was you or Vince that maybe a year from now, The Rock is running WWE.
I said that. Yeah. I said that.
I knew one of you two said it, but it would not shock me a year from right now, The Rock is running the ship.
Let's dig a little deeper. For people who don't know, the former head writer of Monday Night Raw at the peak after Vince Russo was Brian Gerwitz. Yep. Who does Brian work for now as a full-time right-hand man at $7 Production? The Rock. Yep. And if Rock came in and said, hey, I want Brian to run the show and I want Brian to write the show, and Triple H said, no, I run that show, well, all of a sudden now you've got this. So how do you get Brian into that spot? You get rid of Triple H. Yep. And I think that's exactly what's going on. Because TKO, I do. I
believe you now. I 100% agree with you right now.
I'll pray hard for Rock to overtake creative. The thing about it is that Triple H doesn't understand and doesn't follow the Vince model. Vince, Tommy, you've already said it. Vince hated being on camera unless he had to be with the Vince character. Triple H this week, you would have thought Triple H was still in the main freaking event at WrestleMania. He was all over the place, but didn't have to be. You didn't have to be. And then didn't you feel like to you guys that everything was a little bit over booked? as far as not just in the show, but you've got 6 full hours on Saturday and Sunday. You had an NXT show Saturday morning that Shawn Michaels had to get up at 5 a.m. for. You had the Hall of Fame that went till 2:30 in the morning because of Triple H's 2-hour speech after SmackDown on Friday night that all the talent had to go to and then get ready for the full 2 nights of WrestleMania. I'll give Cole and Pat McAfee credit. They were at every single thing, hosted every single thing, and Cole's got to be exhausted tonight. It was too much. Tommy, did you think it was too much?
Way too much, way over the top. And like you and Vince Russo have been talking about for weeks, it's squeezing every dime out of that dollar that they can do, because TKO has no loyalty to fans, has no loyalty to anybody in this business that we all grew up in and worked hard and did everything for this company. They don't care, Coach.
They don't. And I think that's what hurts the most. Yes. I think that's why I get so fired up. Somebody on social media said, Coach, it's just wrestling. No, you're talking about my life. You're talking about my life. You're talking about Tommy's life. Raphael loves this business too. Don't tell me that it's just wrestling. If I spend a second.
The only thing that I wanted to see was the roast, and we're never going to see the video. So that's the only thing I'm missing.
Well.
Ooh, you got something?
There was a little video that came out on social media.
Oh, I missed it.
However, I am not going to repeat the jokes that were told. I will just say this. They were about Nia Jax, and that's all I will say.
I heard Fluffy got pretty roasted in there, too.
I heard Fluffy did, but not even close to Nia Jax. There was a black comedian, I don't know who it was, and he basically referred to her as an offensive lineman. And yeah, it was not good. I didn't feel comfortable watching it. It was only about 1:40, and you could tell everybody sitting up there was like, when it's cringe, it's cringe. And it was cringe. I wouldn't even, if I had the video right now, I wouldn't play it on this show. I will tell you that. It was that uncomfortable. I will tease a lot of people, but I won't tease like that. I won't tease like that.
They said Heyman stole the show. They said Heyman stole the show.
I'm sure he did. And then he went today and looked like an absolute fool.
Yeah.
You can't say somebody's going to be deported. You can't bring up a lawsuit of somebody else. You just can't do that. You can't say that Pat McAfee is high all of the time. And Cena said it too. Said it too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. Kimberly says, I couldn't understand why they had wrestlers competing multiple times within 24 hours. Kimberly, understand they do not care. They don't care. What I was part of 16 WrestleManias. My schedule was full from 6 a.m. to freaking 10 o'clock at night. And you don't say anything about it. Guys, some other things that happened tonight. What about Jey Uso? So last night, what did you guys make? He wins, he was a huge favorite, Raphael, to win, right? So that wasn't a surprise. But then, did you guys see the video of him at the press conference after the show? He was hammered. And that's what happens when they win the first match and they have 4 hours to drink in the suite. And then they say, oh, by the way, Jey, you got to go meet with the media. And then he went to Live nightclub and party till 5 in the morning. Do you think Jay's going to be able to carry it? Because after tonight was just basically, let's go out there and slap him on the back, tell everybody how great he is. Let's yeet a little bit, and then let's leave. No physicality, no nothing.
By the way, what did you get out of that? What did you get out of that? That promo? It was just yeeting in this, and I got to tell you,
I don't know.
I'll give him a pass because he did win. But, man, you can't put him, as a company, you can't put him in this press conference and his head's down. He's going, yeet, and
it was horrible.
Your champ. This is your champ right here. You can't do that. And I'll give Jey a pass because he worked his ass off for over 20 years, was the good soldier, did everything this company asked him to do, and he deserves winning the title. But you can't put him out there like that. I'm sorry, guys. That was a big mistake by the company, not Jey Uso.
Interesting. What are your thoughts on all of Jey Uso for 3 nights? And tonight, somebody in the chat said it was a 15-minute Yeet Fest. They went almost 3 hours tonight, and that segment was over 15 minutes, and they said nothing other than you deserve it.
Yep. Do you think quick. Oh, go ahead, Raph. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
sorry.
Raph.
I agree with Jordan Cooper in the chat. I really thought Sammy was going to turn on him. I was like just staring at the screen, just waiting for Sammy to turn on him, and he didn't. Even though he looked really sincere, you could tell Sammy was holding back some tears in the ring when he was giving his praise. But when they were both on the ropes and Sammy goes down on the ropes first, I really thought he was going to turn on him, and I was kind of disappointed he didn't.
You go ahead, Tommy. Go.
I have a question for both of you guys.
Yeah.
Do you think yeeting has come to a peak, or they could run with this a little more with the yeeting stuff? Is it peaked up to this is the high it's going to go, and that's it?
It's the highest it's going to go, Tommy, unless he gets some layers to him. Because if you're going to become a world champion that you're going to put the company behind, he's got to do more than just this. He's got to go have banger matches. He's going to have like an instant classic with somebody over the summer. He's going to have to go out there and almost lose over the course of 30 minutes, really dig deep to show people he has the guts to be a world heavyweight champion. The other part is this. When you're the champion, you've got to go, and you're a babyface champion. Not a heel champion, babyface. You've got to go to all the appearances. You can't be drinking all night, then not getting up in the morning, all that kind of stuff. You've got to show up and show out, and this is his time. If I was his father, his mentor, whoever, I would sit him down and say, this is your time. Do not screw it up.
Yeah.
Don't screw it up. Raphael, what do you think? Have we peaked, or can he go even higher?
I think in our text chain, I said, if the WWE was a stock market, I'm selling Yeet and I'm buying Dirty Don. So I think it's at his peak, but you're dead on. He needs to change his own plan. He needs to be professional now. Now that he has a title, he's got this first solo title. He needs to step up his game, but I'm still buying Dirty Don stock.
And right now, as far as the highest title, the Universal and the World Heavyweight Championship, John Cena made it very clear. He's got 27 nights left. I can't believe they counted that down.
That was so cool.
He remembered
it.
He
right?
remembered it. That's how good he is.
So good.
That was so good.
But now he says, I'm going to take it home. Somebody else is going to have to do it. It's. I hope they can pull off this storyline and make us forget how we got here. I really, really do. But 27 nights, the hardcore fan loves to say, oh, I haven't defended the title. And, well, Roman didn't defend the title very much. I mean, it sometimes went 4 or 5 months. So this is going to be on the shoulders of Jey Uso. That's really, really is. Speaking of not smart guys, did you guys see this? We have over 1,500 people watching just on social media right now. So thank you to all of you for finding us here right after Monday Night Raw. So the whole Gunther coming out, still not quite sure why he attacked Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. I'm assuming he didn't like their commentary for his match. That's what I'm assuming. Yes. So he puts Cole, and then he chokes out Pat McAfee. Did you see who tweeted right after that happened?
No.
The laughing emojis with 4 or 5 of them. Take a wild guess.
They are.
Stephen A. Smith.
Corey Graves.
Corey Graves.
Corey Graves.
Wow.
The laughing emoji. No. And to see how far he has gone down the totem pole, not only did Pat McAfee leave the show, there's no Corey Graves out there. It was Joe Tessitore that was out there with Michael Cole, 2 play-by-play guys. And so Corey Graves laughing on social media. Guys, his career's over.
Yes.
He is bare, and he has nobody to blame but himself.
Nope, you're right.
You can't do that.
Wow.
You can't do that.
I would have never guessed that name either. I would have never. If you gave me 10 tries, I wouldn't have guessed him. No way.
I said JR. I said JR.
That was a good guess, though. I like JR.
That was a good guess. That was a good guess. But clearly they're going to set up Gunther and Pat McAfee for a match at Backlash, I would think.
Yes.
But when I saw that, I was like, Corey, what are you doing? Sometimes you got to take it on the chin, eat it. And you also got to say to yourself, where else would I go?
Right.
Where else am I going to go to make? Let's say he makes $400,000. That's a lot of money.
Easy.
Easy. Yep. Everybody acts like I don't know where we got into a world where $200,000-$300,000 was not a lot of money. But he's been there over 10 years, so he's moved up. And so either AEW or that's it. So to me, I'd keep my mouth shut. He has not done that. He's now been on NXT, I think, a few times. Is he on every week? I don't know. I don't watch NXT.
Yeah,
So,
he is.
but yeah, he's not going to backtalk Booker T either, because Booker T would turn him upside down and sideways 3 times. He's one of the toughest SOBs I've ever seen.
He works 2 days a week, 1 day a week, travel day there and back home.
Hey, but at least his wife or better half didn't go on all the talk shows and blame the WWE for firing her because she had a baby. At least that. Oh wait.
I knew it.
That actually did happen in real time. She blamed the entire company for being whatever you call it.
Yeah.
She was like, she goes, everybody else gets to come back, but not me.
Yep.
Oh.
I thought Michael Cole was really good today, though. I thought Michael Cole was really good today.
I think, well, he's the best play-by-play guy. I don't care what. JR's great, and JR was good with the, but Cole's called 28. Let's just be honest. He's called 28, and but if you knew him, Raphael, me and Tommy know him. Like, I traveled with him for the first 2.5, 3 years. Yep. And do you know that when SmackDown started, the very first SmackDown was in Kansas City, August 24th, 1999. All right? That is Vince McMahon's birthday. Yes. And that's the first time I met Vince. So I walk up, and they were going to have Michael Cole show me around. He wanted nothing to do with me. Like, he was so pissed because at the last minute, JR big-timed him and said, this is a brand new network show. I'm doing it. And they kicked Cole out.
Yes.
In 1999. They kicked Cole out, didn't let him do it, and he was pissed. You guys saw today on Pat McAfee's show, they were talking about him, paying the dues. That was part of it, Raphael. He got booted from the very first SmackDown, which was supposed to be his show. True story.
Yeah, he was promised that. He was promised that show.
Yep. You are watching The Last Word. We're here live every single week after Monday Night Raw. We are off of Stadium just for a couple of weeks, but we'll be back in May as they're moving different shows around. So we're kind of we're the potpourri show where they can move us wherever they want to move us, and we're still going to kick ass in every single time slot. That's right. All right, Becky Lynch. Guys, we've been talking about it for months. They needed to have her back. I thought in 24 hours that women's division got elevated in a hurry. I saw tons of positivity about everything that happened, and to me it was super smart. Bring her back, have her have a babyface reaction, be a tag team champion. And then I said last night on the show, guys, she doesn't need to be a tag team champion. So what happened 24 hours later, I look like a G because they took it off of her. Now she can turn on her tag team partner. Now we got a lot of storylines. Tommy, what'd you make of Becky Lynch tonight and last night?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I mean, she elevated the game already from showing up at WrestleMania, and we did kind of question why she did it, where she did it, because we thought it should have been with Charlotte, but it all makes sense now, right? Because they shows up tonight, they lose, she turns on Lyra, she's eventually going to win that championship, she's going to be a heel, and I see somehow, like I said before, Heyman, Rollins, her with the championship, she elevates the game big time, and I think it's a great thing. I like Liv and Raquel being the tag team champs because they're so damn entertaining, and she's such a great heel, Liv, that makes you want to watch everything that she does. I love it. I love what Becky's doing right now, and I think there's more to come with this. Is a pretty big deal right now.
And I wonder what the number was. What do you think the number was, guys? Wow. That finally she said, all right, I'll sign, because she stood there and played chicken.
Yes.
And she won. What do we think the number ultimately was? We'll play a little game. Raphael, what do you think she ultimately got? Because I heard she wanted north of $2 million. They didn't want to pay her, and that's been the reason she's been off for over the year.
Yeah, I don't think she got the 2. I don't think she's like Nico from UCLA. I think she got 1.75. I think she got 1.75. I don't think she got the 2.
That's still a lot of money. I mean, back when I was there, when a guy would go over $1 million, that was a really big deal. So now that you got superstars in the 2, 3, 4, 5, that's a big deal. Tommy, what would your number be?
I think it's $1.2 million, and the big deal is the downside. I think her downside is like $550, meaning if she's not even in the show or she's out, she's getting paid $550,000 a year, and that's a big deal to the talent. Your downside. So I
I
Yeah.
didn't know that. I didn't know about downside. I would have changed my answer.
Yeah. So how
All
it
right.
kind of works now? They have changed it a little bit, but how it kind of works is kind of like the NFL, Raphael. They give you a downside guarantee and say it's $500,000.
Right.
That means no matter what happens, she's going to make $500,000. Now, in the old days, they would keep track of every single house show payment. Say you had a $500,000 house, the talent pool was $200,000, and you got paid $3,000 for that show, $4,000 for that show. And they would add that up. At the end of the year, they would add all the shows together, all the pay-per-view bonuses, everything they got. If it was less than 500, they'd write her a check. If it was more than 500, you're square. So that's kind of like the NFL. Okay. So that's what happens. Now, they don't do as many house shows as they used to. And they don't have pay-per-view bonuses anymore like they used to. So I think the downside may be even more important than it's ever been because of how they do it now. I really do. I really do. A few other things, and we'll get the hell out of here. We've been going for about 35 minutes. Where do you think Cena and Orton ultimately are going to go? Because I looked at – no, you know what? I don't want to go there yet. I want to talk Dirty Dom because I think he's the biggest coming out of WrestleMania. Dirty Dom or Logan Paul? Which do you think had a better night? Who do you think they're going to push more? And Kathy Kelly, by the way, who did an interview with Logan Paul, did you guys see? She's been training. She's been training apparently to be a manager. Kathy Kelly. Can't wait to see that.
Really?
Well, you got to be able to take bumps, Raphael. If you can't take bumps, you can't be a manager. That's period, point blank, end of story. So now, do I think she's going to be a great manager? No.
No.
She's always thought she was a big-time female superstar, like on the Charlotte level, Becky level. She's not. She never has been. She never will be. But that's her thing. God bless her. But Logan Paul talked to her. I think his mic skills are lacking a little bit. I really, really do. That, to me, would be his Achilles heel. But who do you think had a better weekend, Dom or Logan Paul? Raphael, I'll let you start.
Dom's full time. Unless I see Paul every show, he would be my number one. But I know Dirty Dom's going to be there every Monday. And with his long hair and funky mustache and his girl Liv, they're both going to be there every Monday. I don't know if Paul's going to be there once a month, once every 2 months. I say Dirty Dom.
Tommy, I don't know what TKO is doing as far as paying guys. But if they don't pony up for Logan Paul, in my opinion, that's a gigantic mistake. He's got them over a barrel. Would you invest more in Logan Paul or Dirty Dom?
Well, I would invest in Logan Paul, but I love Dirty Dom so much. And I agree with Raphael. He's a full-time guy. They're going to put all their eggs in one basket there. Unless Logan Paul comes to the table and TKO comes to the table to come with something, because this guy could be your top heel for the next 5 years. And that's no joke. Mic skills, work in the ring, heat with social media. His social media following is off the charts. But I love Dirty Dom, and the crowd loves Dirty Dom now. They were going nuts for him tonight. So right now, and I agree with Raphael, he's a full-time guy, it's got to be Dirty Dom.
I never thought that this could be this way with Dirty Dom. He's not super big. He's not super strong. But, man, does he own that character. And he has something that you cannot teach, and that's the it factor. And the crowd eats him up. And I've said this many, many times. If you can become a great heel, then you're going to be a great babyface on the other side. What did we see at WrestleMania? He wins the title. The crowd goes absolutely bananas. Like, we want to believe in this cool cat who's dating the hot chick. The hot chick's also a champion, and now they're together. And guess who was a little bit on the outside looking in tonight, guys? Finn Balor.
Yep.
So now we can start that little thing going as well, which I think will be a cool thing within the Judgment Day.
Well, I have a question for you guys. I'm glad you said that. Is it harder to turn heel to babyface or babyface to heel?
Well, I mean, I'm so glad you asked. I'm so glad you asked that question. I mean, as a former tag team champion, as a heel. And then I don't know if I ever really turned babyface. It felt like it from the crowd reaction. But as I look back and really soak up my time, I would say it's probably harder to go from a babyface to a really good heel as opposed – because if you're a heel, all you got to do is turn on a heel and now you're a babyface.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. If you're a babyface, to really get the crowd to boo you And I remember when I started going out, my music would hit, and the boos got louder and louder and louder, and the boys in the back got more pissed and more pissed and more pissed because they're like, "Why is this former announcer getting more heat than we're getting? We're sitting our asses in the back, and he's out there enjoying." It was real. It was real. There's a few guys that just didn't like me, not because of me, but because of the fact that I got to run.
So Karrion Kross would really hate you back if you were there right now. Then.
Oh my God, me and Karrion Kross would do a lot of good work. That dude should be a star in the making.
Yes,
that was one of the greatest promos I've ever seen.
Agree. I totally agree.
100%. So raw, just so raw,
so raw. Now, here's the thing: when you can do something that you don't know if it's a shoot or a work, Tommy, right? Yeah. And I didn't know if half it was a shoot, then half it was a work. But the fact that he was on Monday Night Raw tonight, I was like, okay, it's a work. But it was a hell of a work, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it's his idea. Guaranteed that's his idea.
Really?
With this, oh man, absolutely. The guy has great ideas. He's a really smart guy. He's good at what he does. And by the way, Raphael, if you ask half the roster if they want to be a heel or a babyface, more than half would say heel.
That makes sense.
Well, and the reason they would say that because a lot of guys can't sell merch.
Right.
You know, if you can sell merch, you don't want to be a heel. If you can sell merch, you want to be a babyface. Period. End of story. Point blank. There is no question about it. I guarantee you, John Cena has lost millions because of turning heel. Millions.
And millions.
Millions. And millions of The Rock's fans. Walrad, normally I only read super stickers or premium, but I'll read this one. Thank you, Coach. You, Vince, Tommy. A wealth of well-informed analysis. Your shows are very enjoyable. Walrad, thank you very much. Apparently, Raphael,
Couldn't agree more.
But Raphael, you're not included in that.
I shouldn't be. He was dead on. He was dead on with you three. He was 100% correct.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
I love Raphael. I want him on every week. Man.
He's so great. He's so great. All right, guys. Before we wrap things up, we're going to be back next Monday. As I said, we'll be back on Stadium in May. I kind of like doing it this way because we've got a really big audience on social media and on our new YouTube channel. If you guys are watching right now, to clear it up, we're going to have 2 YouTube channels now. We had one with 3 different shows. We're going to have all of our wrestling, The Last Word, Coach and Bro, maybe a little bit of PFL on one channel. Then all of our sports betting, Coaching Company, and our new show, Weekday Wagers, that'll be on another YouTube channel. I've posted it on my X, but I encourage you to subscribe to both. If you're a premium member, you will stay a premium member on this channel, and then we will grow the other channel as well. So it's going to be very, very easy, but we really thought with 4 different shows, we should separate them out. So that's exactly what we're going to do. All right, final take, guys, as we head into what's going to be, I think, kind of a boring SmackDown, because this is always the time, Tommy, the first week after WrestleMania, no energy, no creativity. I hope we get something on Friday. I don't know what it's going to be, but your final take after the entire WrestleMania week.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy week. Things happened that we didn't think happened, and stuff happened that we thought should have happened, right? So I'm really looking forward, and probably not going to see it at all, is what's going on with Cody Rhodes. Is he going to go away for a while? Is he going to stay out of the limelight and not hear from him at all for a month or a month and a half, and then we hear from him? That's the interesting part for me, is where do we go with Cody Rhodes right now? Does he get a rematch with Cena? Does he not? Well, that's not happening because it's going to be Randy Orton. So I'm interested to see moving forward how long it is before Rhodes comes back to the programming.
It's going to be very, very interesting. That's a good question. I've got 2 announcements to close the show, but Raphael, first, I want your take on everything WrestleMania heading into what should be the quiet period the next 4 months.
I've been thinking about this a lot today. 2 years from now, 3 years, 5 years from now, are we going to be talking about John Cena breaking a record or the no-show of The Rock? Because I think it's going to be the no-show of The Rock. I think John Cena's number is going to be so tied together, and I think Rock's no-show is going to overshadow beating Ric Flair's number.
I think so too, because I also think, guys, that it's going to be tied to Travis Scott. And I don't care what anybody says, to have a 140-pound rapper, I don't give a damn how many followers he has, help you win number 17.
Correct.
I've had it. All right. 2 announcements for our premium members. as soon as we are done here, if you are a Hall of Fame member and you can join us right on our YouTube page, you get to watch me and Tommy tape the War Room live. We never drop it till Friday. You get it tonight. As soon as we are done, we will tape that live for Hall of Fame members. Also, tomorrow, we're going to have our very first happy hour. It's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern for all of our premium members. You can come on. There's going to be a lot of members from the crew that are going to be there answering questions. We're just talking. We're just turning it up. We're whatever. It's a happy hour, and you guys can be involved again. That's premium members tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time, premium members only. Gentlemen, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your insight. I freaking love doing this with you, so thank you guys very, very much. All right, that's going to do it for us, for man Raphael, for Big Tommy, for intern Dan, and, of course, producer man who keeps all of this stuff together. I am simply the coach. We will see you tomorrow morning live at 10 a.m. on Stadium, YouTube, and social media with our sports betting show, Coach and Company. Until then, thank you all for your support. We love this, and we're just getting started. Have a great night.